Good evening and welcome to the City of Montgomery City Council regular meeting for June 24th, 2025. City Secretary, we have a quorum, and it is exactly 6 p.m. We'll call this meeting to order. I'd like to ask Councilman Zulowitz to give our invocation, and then we'll do the pledges. If you please rise. In the meantime, make sure your phones are on silent or vibrate so that we are not disturbed. Thank you.
Eternal Father, in the shared spaces of governance we humbly gather, seeking your divine wisdom. Guide us, O Lord, as we deliberate over pulsating issues of our city. Empower our discernment. Illuminate our judgments and plans with your celestial insights. May we steward this civic responsibility diligently and create a beacon city for all. With hopeful hearts, we seek your grace for better judgment, knowing that in you lies wisdom beyond measure. In all we do or decide here today, may you be reflected and glorified first and foremost. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the United States flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Outstanding. Great to see everybody here tonight. Thank you for coming. I did not receive any forms for a public forum, so we'll be moving right along on the agenda to presentation. Item number 4 on your agenda. Proclamation honoring Eagle Scout Cohen B. Rogers. Proclamation, that's the wrong one, honoring Eagle Scout Cohen B. Rogers, whereas Cohen B. Rogers of Boy Scout Troop 491, Montgomery, Texas, has achieved the rank of Eagle Scout. And whereas Eagle Scouts act as leaders and role models in the community, it takes years of dedication and commitment to achieve the rank of Eagle Scout. And whereas the Eagle Scout Award is a distinction that will follow him throughout his life and will be a beacon to others of the leadership quality and commitment this young man has shown. And whereas Cohen B. Rogers has diligently planned, coordinated, executed, and presented a wheelchair-accessible mobile hunting blind he constructed with 15 fellow Boy Scouts. Veterans were invited to sign and leave inspirational messages inside of the hunting blind. The mobile hunting blind was donated by Patriot Outfitters, where the unit could serve a practical purpose and honor our veterans. Whereas in the coming years, disabled veterans will enjoy and appreciate the fruits of his labor. Now I, Sarah Countryman, Mayor of the City of Montgomery, Texas, do hereby congratulate and recognize Cohen B. Rogers for his achievement of rank of Eagle Scout. We are proud of him as a member of our community. In testimony whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the official seal of the City of Montgomery, Texas, to be affixed this 24th day of June 2025. Please come up and get your proclamation. Great job. Thank you so much for doing this. Would you like to stand in front of us and we gather around for a picture? That's fine. Okay, go ahead and stand right here and y'all will come in.
He says, just tell
It's
me
just
what to
one.
do.
Great job.
What's the proclamation at?
Feet for out.
Upside down. Upside down.
Upside down.
Just a little to the right. Come and scoot to the right just a smidge. Okay. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Next item on your agenda is number 5, proclamation honoring Lake Creek softball team. This is exciting as well. Proclamation honoring Lake Creek softball. Whereas 2025 Lake Creek softball team made school history by qualifying for the state championship title for the third time in 4 years. And whereas the Lady Lions take title with a 37-0 record as UIL 5A Division II softball championship. And whereas on Friday, May 30th, 2025, The team triumphed in a thrilling 12-1 win against Hallsville High School, earning the state championship title. And whereas the Lady Lions have done something amazing as a softball team in Montgomery, Texas, continue to win a state championship. Whereas this extraordinary accomplishment is a testament to the team's resilience, dedication, and unity, as well as the unwavering support, the leadership of head coach Candace Carter. And whereas the accomplishments of the 2025 Lake Creek softball team have brought immense pride to their school, their families, alumni, and the entire community. Now, therefore, I, Sarah Countryman, Mayor of the City of Montgomery, Texas, do hereby honor and recognize the 2025 Lake Creek softball team for their success in being the UIL 5A Division II softball state champions. The City of Montgomery City Council encourages all residents to join us in recognizing and celebrating the outstanding achievements of those student athletes. In witness thereof, I here have unto set my hand and cause the official seal of the City of Montgomery, Texas to be affixed this 24th day of June 2025. We are so proud. Come forward. So I was going to say, you look a little different, Coach Carter. How are you? Great to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much. What an honor for a little small town to have such a big impact in UIL sports. We appreciate all you do. And now we're going to do it again next year?
Absolutely.
Great job. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Number 6 on your agenda, presentation of the city's emergency management plan. This will be given by Chief Anthony Solomon. Chief?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. You guys asked for an update about emergency management. I sent you guys all those forms on the paperwork on our resources and the things that we do. The problem with emergency management from our end is the education. It's educating people on when these hurricanes are coming. And we have, so when we look at a hurricane, you're talking about the preparedness part. The preparedness part is probably the most important part. And we send out pamphlets all the time for emergency management. And what we try to get people to do is to get prepared. I bet you there's not anyone in this room who doesn't find themselves thinking, okay, it's not going to hit my place. It's not going to hit my place. And then next thing you know, your roof's got up. So you think, well, it hit my place. We get people displaced. And a lot of times what this does for us as first responders, it puts us in harm's way, because now we got to come and get you. We either got to do, we got a fire department who has a swift rescue team. We ourselves have the flood truck where we can come out and we'll get you. In order to do that, our officers are trained to be in front of that truck, with some type of harness on. And they've got to walk that flood. And we've got to have people on the side to make sure that they don't drown. So it starts to put you in harm's way. So what we ask is that people start to prepare themselves. We put these pamphlets in our light bills and things like that. But there's also, these pamphlets give you 36 hours before a hurricane. They give you 18 hours before, and what to do 6 hours before. These things are truly, truly helpful. We did this in front of the churches. We just kind of enlightened them on how to get ready. You'd be surprised how many people called us back and said this was a huge help to them. So that's what we're really trying to do, is make sure that people are prepared for these hurricanes, are prepared to get going. We have also the alert system that we told you guys about. That alert system is on our site. That alert system you can sign up for. At this point now, I think we got 2,485 people that's in our contact. It not only comes for here, the part that you see off to the blue where it says sign directly up, that's for anybody who has a cell phone or anybody who has, wherever you answer the phone in. If you put your number in there, those people will call you and alert you at that time. There's nothing better than getting one of these alerts. And then that's where you can come to what we have as resources. We put a ton of things together for resources. We have rescue resources, high water vehicles. Like I said, we have the fire department has a swift water training guys. We also have a drone that we put up to find people. And we've had to do all of these things. We've got the shelters, and this is for you guys, because a lot of time council gets get people calling in and saying, hey, where's the shelters at? Where are these things at? Well, the shelters, we put them in those reports for you guys, so when you're called, they know these are not resources that we think we have. These are proven resources that we put together with the message boards and the social media, and like I said, the alert system. All those things are here. As a small city, we put these things together, and you can't hardly find it. Because if you read the county, if you read the MOU that we have with the county, what does it say? That part that was in yellow said, save your own self. Because we're not cutting. And that's kind of how it is. So that's what when I came here, that's what we talked about, is what we were going to put together to take care of the people of this city. With all the development coming to this city, I looked the other day, we got, without the BCS places coming, it's 1,950 homes that will be built in probably about the next 3 years. If you take and put 4 people in each one of those homes, you're talking about another 7,000 people. So we're looking ahead. We're looking at programs that will help us digitize all of these subdivisions. Will help us digitize the businesses that are coming here. So as a police department, we're looking at the future, and we're looking at software that will help us to not only fight crime, but also when you come to this emergency management, to help us do that. Because at some point, if we're not building on those 1,900 houses that are coming here, it's going to put about another, if you take the cars, we'll put about another 600, 700, 800 cars on the streets here. So when we're talking emergency management for us, it's either a man-made or it's natural. So we're looking at it also. Hoping if you guys took the things that we gave you, read them, you keep them, you'll understand them. If you need to know anything, just have people give us a call. But we're ready here in Montgomery, so that's what you got. Thank you.
Very good, Chief.
Well done, Chief. All right. On the consent agenda, moving right along to item number 7. Consideration of possible action on the joint special meeting minutes of April 29, 2025. Item number 8, consideration of possible action on a resolution of the City Council of the City of Montgomery, Montgomery County, Texas, appointing a member of the Montgomery Planning and Zoning Commission for an unexpired term. Council, you can take these cumulatively or independently. What is your pleasure?
Cumulative? I make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Motion by Ms. Rolton, second by Ms. Fox, that we take the consent agenda cumulatively. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires majority vote. It is open for discussion. All those in favor of accepting the consent agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will accept the consent agenda as presented. Next item on your agenda. Okay. Oh, good. Mr. Glazer, you're here? Yep. Hi, welcome. Glad, thank you. Would you like to say a few words?
It's your option to say no, but
Thank everybody for coming out tonight for I'm putting in for the Planning and Zoning Commission. The reason I'm doing that is because I was a retired police administrator, and I've worked with the city council where I worked quite a bit, and I just want to do it now where I live.
Awesome.
And I think that's it in a nutshell, so that's why I put in for it.
Appreciate it. Thank you for wanting to serve. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Wonderful. Thank you. Nice to meet you. All right. The City Council will receive comments from the public on the below listed items. Speakers will only be limited to 3 minutes each. Persons wishing to participate and speak during the public hearing portion of the meeting must sign in to participate prior to the meeting. I did not receive any requests. But item number 9, convene into public hearing the request for a special use permit for a fast food restaurant with drive-through service at 21049 Eva Street. It is 6:15. We are now in a public hearing. I did not sign up, but however, sitting here, I would like to say I am opposed to this fast food restaurant at this location. I'm okay with the fast food restaurant, especially this brand in this city, not at this location. I don't think it serves the community and the aesthetics of the city that we would like to have. And I am concerned with the traffic, that it will potentially cause the traffic jam and the flow of traffic on 149 and 105 with the entrance and exit on southeast side of 149 and on the northeast side of 105.
I also would like to speak on the same thing because I am totally opposed to that location for that particular restaurant because it's a drive-through. I love Jack in the Box, but not at that location. I've lived here for 50 years, and I can see so much traffic there, especially when the elementary school, which is on the south side, gets out. Even when the high school, for the Montgomery High School, when they get out, that it would just be, it would be really very not very good for any of us residents that will live here. So I am definitely opposed to it.
So I'd like to speak also. As far as the fast food restaurant is concerned, I have no opinion one way or the other. My concern is with the way that the applicant has had to jump through some hoops. So we have several fast food restaurants with drive-throughs on. Not one of them, not one, has been forced to get a special use permit until now. So I don't appreciate the manipulation of our law. We enforce it when we feel like it, and that's it.
Good for you, Casey.
Well, let me say on that point, we've got different people in charge now, and interpretation is different when you have different people come on board. So,
Different locations.
and different
Doesn't
locations.
matter where it is, folks.
And the fact that the little public response I've received has not been positive. So, it puts us in a hard place because we, legally speaking, we can't force them not to be there, but technically most people are not, do not want them there. I'm sorry to say. So we'd love to have them in town. We just don't feel like that's an adequate location.
If no one else would like to speak, it's 6:18 and we will close this public hearing. Next item on your agenda, item number 10, consideration of possible action regarding a request for a special use permit for a fast food restaurant with a drive-through service at 21049 Eva Street.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I wrote a brief background of how this has evolved. I don't know if you'd like to read that whole background. When it started, when we had the first call for public hearing, it was tabled by the city council at March 25th, 2025, pending additional information and to be revisited on April 22nd, 2025. It is required to be reviewed by the Planning and Zoning Commission, so it did go to the Planning and Zoning Commission on April 1st, 2025. They had also made the decision that they wanted to wait for additional information such as a traffic impact study. On April 22nd, the second time that the City Council called for the public hearing to be scheduled for June 24th, which is today. They did approve that, and that's why we're having the public hearing now. The Planning and Zoning Commission, due to a lack of quorum on June 3rd, was going to review the application with the Planning and Zoning Commission, but because of that lack of quorum, it got rescheduled to June 11, 2025. On June 11, 2025, they recommended denying the application because of the lack of information that they had requested to be provided. And you'll see that in the memo that's attached. And then just as a reminder, when it comes to voting on this special use permit application, you're required to have a 4/5 vote for this special use permit. Does anyone have any questions?
Have you received any information from them since the P&Z meeting?
No.
No. So you still don't have a traffic study?
I have not received anything. I don't know if we need any years.
Is anybody here representing Them? No?
I've emailed them and informed them of each of the meetings that were scheduled.
Thank you, Ms. Tilly.
So, we don't have a traffic impact analysis?
No.
And PFD has,
So we don't have full information to make an informative decision for lack of engagement on their part. All right, so with that, do we need to take an individual vote? Yes, okay. So we will go, is there more discussion? All right, place 1, Ms. Langley, what is your vote?
No?
Place 2, Mr. Olson, what is your vote?
Yes.
Place 3, Mr. Zulovich, what is your vote?
No.
Ms. Fox, place 4.
no.
Place 5, Mr. Donaldson?
No.
Okay. That is a 4/5 vote of no, so this did not pass. Somebody, I'm sorry?
Who made the motion?
Who made the motion? Oh, I didn't make, nobody made the motion, we just did the vote.
I'll make a motion.
Uh,
Consideration and possible action regarding the request for special use permit for, hold on, got new glasses.
I know.
Use permit for fast food restaurant with a drive-through service at 2149 Eva Street.
That's the motion by Mr. Olson.
I second the motion.
All right, and then the votes are no, place 1, yes, place 2, no, place 3, no, place 4, and no, place 5, for the record. All those in favor of denying item number 10 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will deny item number 10 on the agenda. Item number 11, consideration and possible action regarding approving expenses for removing dead cedar trees in Cedar Break Park. Mr. McElroy,
All right.
Director of Public Works.
City employee, I'm not a Jack in the Box employee, I know that. No, we had several cedar trees that died this year, not just in the park, but we see them in other areas as well. Probably from the drought last year, before we get to up to the experts. It's unfortunate, but it happens, so they need to come down before they become a hazard. We use Rockco Tree Service a whole lot, they do great work for us, but we had a gentleman that requested to put in a quote, Car Eric, somewhere around town, asked to put in a quote, so we're willing to give him a shot. It's a good price. He may be just trying to get his foot in the door with us, but he's got insurance, he's got good reviews online, we're willing to give him a shot. He's going to do some extra grinding on some stumps that are already there for us, free of charge. So that's my recommendation is to go with that. And so it's coming before you because we've technically got $10,000 in the line item for Cedar Break, but we're already through that this year. So.
How many trees? It said 30, he said 34.
Yeah,
Is that
one
all?
said
Is that
34,
it?
one said 38.
Is that all in Cedar Break Park?
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't know we had that many trees. Wow.
That's,
We're going to look at planting some more this next year with some of the increased funds that we hope to get.
So do we have more stumps than we have trees? One of them quoted 52 tree stumps.
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of stumps there already that, for previous trees coming down.
Hey, Mike, you said they were insured, but do they have to be insured and bonded, or just insured?
Just insurance.
Okay.
General liability insurance.
I think you did some trees on College Street for a resident, and it was clean,
Okay.
good.
I believe
Afterwards.
he's the gentleman that used to live in town.
well, it says he lives on Shannon Circle now, isn't that?
Yeah, well, that may be the office, but I believe he's the guy that used to live by the hair salon there by Louisa Street.
Oh,
Oh, well, I've used
Yeah.
him.
I know who he is, okay.
There we go.
Never mind.
I make a motion we accept agenda item number 11 as presented.
Motion by Mr. Donaldson,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Fox, that we accept item number 11 as presented. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. It's open for discussion. All those in favor of accepting item number 11 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries, and 38 trees will come down. Thank you. Dead trees. Thank you, Mike.
34.
Well, it says 38 here.
38, I wrote right up.
They'll find.
Consider, okay, item number 12 on your agenda, consideration and possible action on a variance request related to the required utility easement and vegetative setback for the HEB development number 2402. Mr. Wisnowski.
Council, start with page 75 of your packet. You'll see this item. I will give an overview. HEB is here as well to answer any questions specifically you have for them. So there's two main variances that they're requesting. The first variance is to not utilize or not provide the 16-foot utility easement along the frontage of 105, and instead to place the proposed utility extensions in the 105 right away. And the second one is regarding the landscape setback at the rear of the property. Your requirement is 25 foot. At budding single-family properties, they're requesting a 20-foot in a section due to some grade issues. So I'll hit each of these kind of individually. The planning and zoning did review this at their June 11th meeting, and they do recommend approval of both of these variances. Item 1, which is the easement. So what is being proposed, they're required to extend water and sewer along the frontage of 105 in order to serve the property and stub it out to their easternmost boundary to keep it going in the future as the next developments. The city's initial request was that they put those within the utility easement. It stated in the code that per city request, the easement will be provided for that. Their request is to not do that and to put them within the right of way because of site constraints. They have some retaining walls, a fuel station, tanks, etc., that eat into the usability of the site. Our concern with that, and is what is stated in the letters, is obviously if utilities in TxDOT right of way, if TxDOT expands and creates a conflict with the utilities, it is on the utility owners, i.e. the city's responsibility to relocate. However, when you look at the exhibit in your packets, further back there's a colored aerial exhibit. You'll see the approximate distances that we're talking about of roughly 80 to 95 feet from the edge of existing pavement to where these utilities are being proposed, which is a lot of expansion space. So though it is it's factual that if TxDOT expands and if they're in the way, it would be at the owner's cost. Likelihood of expanding 90 more feet of pavement on this section on 105 is a low probability. The HEB is performing or is doing work on 2854, and so any relocations or adjustments from their turn lanes and other things that they're doing will be taken care of at that time, which is really, I think, where the utility is today, but more likely than seeing a 90-foot expansion on 105. So that's the first item. And then the second item is on the setback. So if you look at page 83 of your packets, you'll see an exhibit showing the proposed site plan and then an arrow pointing to where that setback is, and you'll see that there's a point there's a grade difference. And so in order to be able to construct the retaining walls, they need to reduce that by 5 feet to give them the space to do so with working on their site plan that they're working on. So all said that, I think that yes, there is a risk on the utilities, however, it's very small. But as far as kind of actualities, we can also answer some questions.
I think I would anticipate a right turn lane going along there for traffic going into.
And that is shown
on 105.
Correct, on 105. If you look on that exhibit, the area one, you'll see it's kind of roughed in the future right turn lane expansion for an HEB. That is an HEB's plan set to do. And there's still, when you take from this is approximate, these are off of aerials, but approximately from the edge of that expanded turn lane to the utilities, it's still that 79, 80 feet.
Okay.
So Chris, on a hypothetical, if we said, no, you got to give us the easement, and the TxDOT did want to expand, we'd still have to move it on our own cost anyways, right?
Only the portion that's within TxDOT right. So right now your utilities are in TxDOT right away right at the corner. Mm-hmm. So the proposed alignment was take them from that point, go directly to on the property line. And so that cost of relocating on the corner would be borne by the city, because that's where they are.
Right.
But if, you know, again, this is way out there, but in the event that TxDOT was trying to acquire right away, within an easement, they would then be responsible for that relocation cost. They're not going 110 feet.
Right. So then my next question is, can we just write it in that since they didn't give us an easement, that if they have to move it, they have to pay for it?
That's, you know, as far as how that holds up, I don't know. That's a common question.
I'm just asking.
It seems like it's always whoever was there first.
Right, but I mean, put it on HEB since we didn't get the easement for it, they want to put it in it's their choice to put it in the right of way.
So the question is, Alan, is could you, if there is no easement, could the city defer the risk or put the risk back on HEB that has to be relocated?
That would be subject to HEB's agreements, that I don't know that we could unilaterally.
Right. Just wondering.
Anything that HEB wants to add to the reasons to do so?
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Can you state your name for the record?
Oh, yeah, Hector Leon with Westwood Professional Services. We're the engineering firm working with HEB in this project. Just if you guys have any questions for us, happy to answer. Chris did a great job on kind of where the request is coming from. Not necessarily like just a preference per se, but we have a lot of site constraints. If you guys are familiar with the property, we have roughly about 50 to 60 feet of wall, which is going to require retaining walls around the site. On top of, as you guys know, HEB is a very popular user, so we need to make sure that we have enough parking to provide to the customers. And we're also including a fuel station, which we're trying to make it as best we can accessible for people with large vehicles and possibly close with the proximity of the lake. So with all that, keep in mind, like the extra 16 feet at the front and the extra 5 feet at the back for the variances make a big difference. It also creates a big impact on how can we try to mitigate not having trucks interacting with the regular public and try to keep all the trucks in the back of the store. Those extra 5 feet and the 60 feet that we can adjust that will give us enough room to be able to, I don't want to say enforcement, so we can do that, but dictate the trucks to do their maneuvering in the back of the store to protect the general public as they go into in and out of the store.
So the third driveway on the drawing for 2854 is a driveway for the trucks to go to the back of the building?
Correct. That will be the idea and the intent. Now, it's an open driveway, right? So everybody could access it. It's not going to have any type of truck-only access type, but yeah, mainly trucks will be requested to take that route. That's it.
And then the driveway north of that, the middle driveway, is that just a right-hand turn lane only? Because I didn't notice the triangle that shows it to be a left-hand, right-hand turn lane.
Yeah, so I believe that will be the first driveway closer to 2854 that you might be referring to. The middle one, that is your regular driveway. The northern drive closer to the intersection.
Will be just the right-hand lane.
It is a right in, right out.
Okay, that's it, right. Okay, got it.
Mitigate the traffic from the intersection and then the queuing.
Got it,
Correct.
okay. All right, cool. And how many parking spots are going to be here?
I don't have an exact number, but we are,
640 or something like that?
I don't have an exact number, but we have
A lot,
extra parking
yes.
that's required by code ordinances.
Over 600, okay, in our meeting, I thought it was over 600, I thought that was important to note. Yeah, I thought that was important to note, okay.
But yeah, we're all required by code.
Just to put that in perspective, on the BCS capital project, they're having about 600. So this is going to be more than that. That's how much traffic is going to be going in and here, in and out of here. So very exciting, for sure. But we need to ensure that traffic flow is not impeded. All right, would you have any other questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the two variance requests for the HEB development.
Motion by Mr. Olson to approve both variance requests. Second by Ms. Fox. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. It's open for discussion. All those in favor of accepting both variance requests as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will accept both variance requests as presented. Item number 13 on your agenda. WGA and staff recommend that the council provide comments to the development agreement between the city and Superior Properties of Texas, LLC, as presented. Mr. Wisnowski.
Right. So starting page 85 of your packets, this is, so flip over one to page 86, just reorient everyone where this property is. The site, there's a city map showing you, this is over next to the Lone Star Community Center on the northeast corner, northwest corner of 129 and 125 Parkway. And this is for their development agreement. So they've already gone through the rezoning of the portion of the property for multifamily. So what is in this agreement, or I'll hit the main points. One is they're doing a couple water line projects. There's one water line project that they will design and construct that is for a large cap across Lone Star Parkway in order to serve the multifamily portion of the site. The second is the water line that will serve the commercial, and this goes along by upsizing the water line on Lawson, circling it back to connect to Simonton to create a water line loop. And since that serves existing customers and impacts people that are currently there, that one would be designed and constructed by the city at the developer's expense. The multifamily one, if it's messed up, it affects them. The other one is in the city's hands with coordination with existing residents. So following that page, on page 90, it talks about the funding of those. So again, all costs of those are covered by the developer. For all of those, the city will take over the ownership of those lines once they're complete. Moving on to wastewater, they would, again, it would only serve them. No one else is tied into it, so they would do the design and construction of that sewer line, which is along the northern right-of-way of Lone Star Parkway, along the property to serve their site. Moving on to page 6 of the agreement, the road improvements. A couple things to note that were big at the time when we were discussing this agreement was the connections to Simonton and Lawson, and that they're only for emergency access. They are not for people to go in and out onto those roads. And so that is listed in here in section 2.2 that they are to remain dead ends or gates and lock boxes for emergency services only.
And no construction traffic on those roads either.
Yeah, they will not. When we review their plans, and it's not specifically stated in here, but their stabilized construction entrances for trucks will be off of Lone Star. The only construction traffic will obviously be to put in the water lines on that.
And should there be construction traffic on those streets, is there consequences? Those streets cannot handle it, A, they're small.
Right.
B, then we're gonna have to repair them, should there be issues. And those streets are, shall I say, fragile?
Right. So as far as the water line construction goes, that'll be part of the contract. If it's damaged during construction, it has to be fixed by the contractor. That contractor is working at the city's direction, but at the cost of the developer. So it's not a full redo, but any additional damages that are occurred. As far as the construction of the private site, we will make sure that as part of their plan approval that they do not have access off of Simonton and Lawson to do that work. And just make that abundantly clear. Chief will be aware, code enforcement will be aware.
I'm just leery because we have people, security looking at watching water and they're having water theft, so you tell them they can't do it, they're gonna do it.
The streets on the plat are shown as private streets.
Correct.
We're not gonna be taking ownership, right?
You're not.
Okay.
No. So the multifamily site, those are all private streets, private parking, everything between those buildings, and then they're kind of traditional retail and storage complex that are all private.
So our only responsibility lies in the infrastructure of the water and sewer.
Yeah, water and sewer lines. In the portions of those that are public, so not the line that extends all the way up to the development, but the portion that's along the right of way that we're using.
Oh, so once it goes through the gates, we are not responsible for it?
That's correct.
Okay.
Correct.
That's good.
Continuing on some other highlights of the agreement, so section 2.3 development regulations Do you remember at the time there was concern about off-street parking?
Real quick, on the private streets, I just want to, we need to make note in some part of the agreement somewhere that at any point, if they want to bring those streets back to the city, that they must be brought up to our standards. No questions asked.
Correct, so this is not going to be platted as private streets. They're going to be platted as a commercial reserve, or a multifamily reserve, not private right-of-way to these individual assets. Versus the neighborhoods that you've had in the past, that they are platted as individual lots with a private right-of-way overlapping access and utilities. So this will function more like any of the other apartment complexes in the city, that there is a gate, and behind the gate is all private.
Okay.
So it's not, it's more, it's a different style.
Okay.
Are these all single-story units?
I don't believe so. I believe they're multi-story.
Because I'm looking at square footage, and that's awful small, 953 square feet.
Well, initially, they presented drawings that showed 2 stories.
Okay.
Yes, there are 2 stories. So back to the agreement. So one of the items that was also a concern kind of a while back was the off-street parking. So that's addressed in section 2.3 regarding the off-street parking requirement, which is 2 vehicles per unit, plus the additional spaces for all the commercial per your ordinance. Another that's restated in here, the vegetative setback between the property and the properties on Lawson and Simonton, that is maintained again to give.
And that's 25 feet?
That's 25 feet. And talks about the commercial lighting. Again, it's in your ordinance, but agrees that lighting is directed away from the homes and toward the street, not toward the home's line. And the rest of the agreement, section 3.1, is standard legal language that as an engineer I will skip over. And those are the main points.
I'm all for it. I just don't want the Lawson and Simonton streets to be disturbed.
I make a motion to accept item 13 as presented.
Motion by Mr. Olson that we accept item number 13 as presented.
I second the motion.
Second by Mr. Donaldson. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. It's open for discussion. All those in favor of accepting item number 13 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we'll accept item 13 as presented. Item 14 on your agenda. Consideration and possible action on the MOU for the Villages of Montgomery Development Number 2502.
Right. Continuing on your packets, so this next item is obviously for the Villages of Montgomery. So if you look on the next page following the cover, you'll see just a reminder of where the extents of this tract are, followed by the updated MOU. So council did review a draft of this a couple meetings ago. Y'all provided some comments to access and to other things that I'll point out that have been included in this. Developer has reviewed and has signed this version of the agreement. So what this does is as soon as council's okay, it will be executed, and then the full development agreement will get started with these terms in here, plus the other standard language. So as a reminder, this development is around 50.4 acres. If you look on page 2 of the memorandum of understanding, page 128 of your packets. Item 1 talks about the mix of that development, 137 single-family units with ranging sizes from the alley load to the traditional single-family. The variances that were approved back on May 27th are listed in here. Those are already completed. Item 3 just talks about that they will be submitting a rezoning application for the single-family and commercial, just based on their land plan and zoning today. It's tweaking to get those two lined back up. They will be constructing water line improvements, sewer improvements. That's all at their expense. They will be extending Caroline Street through, as well as sidewalks all the way to the west side of the park. So there is pedestrian connectivity between the two. On the third page, item 10, this was made abundantly clear that there is no connection from roadways to College. So if you look on the exhibit that's included that page after, I grabbed a wrong version. and it shows that connection. That is not accurate. The signed version of what Parkside has agreed to is that there is no roadway connection onto College Street.
So basically it'd be a dead end.
It remain the
College Street
same.
will stay.
It remain the same.
Right, College Street will stay dead. They will loop the water, will connect the water line to it. Right now, College Street's a dead end water line, so they'll provide an easement to close the water line loop, but not access onto College Street. Access will be from 105 and the other item on here, I do need to point this one out, is item 4. I'm going back a page regarding a potential MUD, either creation of a new or annexing into an existing MUD for them to finance their project. So again, this is a non-binding agreement. They still have to come back with formal city consent, but just getting everyone up to speed that is the plan for them to more than likely annex into one of the neighboring MUDs for taxation and financing.
Would that be like Tri-Points mud?
It's going to be the Johnson.
On the other side of the road.
We got a process started. That's all I have. Again, developers here, if you have any specific questions for him or anything else.
I'm excited about the development. I think it's going to bring a lot to our downtown, and I appreciate the connectivity so that the homes over here can walk or take a golf cart, since we're such a golf cart community downtown. And it keeps our residents' tax dollars here. I appreciate that. Council, this is for consideration of possible action, so a motion would be needed.
Make a motion to accept the MOU as presented.
Motion by Mr. Olson to accept the MOU as presented.
Second.
Second by Mr. Donaldson. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. It's open for discussion. All those in favor of accepting the MOU as presented on number 14, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. The motion, no. I'm sorry.
Due to the lot sizes and the resulting density, I vote no.
The ayes have it. The motion carries, and we will accept item number 14 as presented as the MOU. Item number 15 on your agenda. WGA and staff recommend council authorize the mayor to sign the MOU and allow city staff and consultants to begin coordinating with the developer to draft the development agreement.
Right. That's for this item. The wording, I know, is a little bit odd, but if you look on page 131 of your packets, you'll see this is regarding the Milago Reserve development. So this is the MOU for that development. Very similar to the last process, you'll saw a draft of this at that same meeting. Comments were received, comments were addressed, developer has executed, and so again, I will hit the highlights of it. Page 1, the next page you'll see just a reminder where this development is located, followed by the updated MOU. So what is in here is just a reminder this is 59 3/4 acre lots. They're not requesting any variances for lot size or setback or anything regarding this development. This development currently is not within the city's city limits, so they will be petitioning for voluntary annexation into the city. The item 4 is more of a cleanup item. The Public Utility Commission shows that there's a portion of the property that may be in the CCN. It's likely a mapping issue, but we're making it very clear to them that it's their responsibility to get that in writing. If they are not stuff into the CCN and provide that to the city at their expense. Item 5 is a reminder, or more is a note that they have requested to do on-site sewer septic systems per each lot versus connect to the public sewer system. The comment received when the draft was presented was talking about not coming back. And so that was the last sentence added. So that will grant variances for individual on-site sewer facilities, future property owners, or an HOA of the subject tract cannot request future connection to the city's sewer system. To address the concern of, again, someone trying to come back and request in the future. And then the rest of it's pretty straightforward. They'll construct the water lines on the site, they'll tie into 2 locations as well, Neolago Drive and Lone Star Pit to help close those water line loops, and they'll submit plans for approval. And there is no wording in here regarding a potential mud or any of those items. It's much shorter form.
So we won't be able to bill for the sewer portion, we'll be able to bill for the water and the garbage portion.
Correct. And same thing for the impact fees. So if you look at item 6, they would pay water on the impact fees, since they're not impacting the sewers.
Make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the MOU and allow city staff and consultants to begin coordinating with the developer to draft the development agreement.
Second motion.
Motion by Mr. John Olson, seconded by Mr. Zulovich, to authorize the mayor to sign the MOU and allow city staff and consultants to begin coordinating with the developer to draft the development agreement. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires majority vote. It is now open for discussion. All those in favor of authorizing the mayor to sign the MOU and allow city staff and consultants to begin coordinating with the developer to draft the development agreement, say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will authorize the mayor to sign the MOU and allow city staff and consultants to begin coordinating with the developer to draft the development agreement. We will be skipping item number 16, as well as 18 through 21. So the next item is number 17 on your agenda. Consideration of possible action, the approval of change order number 2 to upsize the well motor and pump at water plant 2. Chris.
Right. Starting on page 144 of the packet, the memo regarding the change order. So what this is the well's been dug, the testing was completed. The testing was completed, the actual water level versus what the hydrogeologist report showed was lower. Therefore, in order to get the efficiency back up, we're changing, the recommendation is to change out from a 60 horsepower pump to a 75 horsepower pump. So we have optimal operating efficiency of it for both operating costs and long-term wear and tear on the equipment. So that resulting change was a $20,000, $500 price increase for that increased pump size, as well as 14 days while they wait for the equipment.
Chris, how did we not know that it was going to be a 75? Tell me how we got there and we budgeted for 60.
So it's all based on the water depth.
Okay.
So the hydrogeologist report is based off of, kind of global study data, not site specific, and until they actually dug the well to see. The other thing is the static water surface elevation changes throughout the year. We are taking this during the summer, so likelihood is it'll rebound that we see during the non-peak months. It'll be a plus. So essentially we're optimizing the efficiency of the well for the lower setting, where we have, during the summer, we have low water levels. Now, it hasn't been pumped out of that area, but the general aquifer you see during the summer. So it's just more of a difference between what the study believed that the water surface elevation would be to what the actual was when they actually dug it.
So that's not going to go live until after August?
The final completion of the project. So the project as a whole, the ground storage tank is complete, the piping is complete. It's now just getting this pump in, or the motor in, put it down hole, finish the electrical, and get it started. It's just the 2 weeks is more of just a delay in getting that equipment back in. So that's final completion in August. Hopefully substantial completion is sooner than that.
Do you foresee any more changes that might come up that might prevent us from opening up in August?
I do not. This was kind of the last piece. We went through, you know, the questions that we had, anytime that we're changing, especially on an existing plant that's older, electrical, that was, we were going to make sure that all electrical engineer went out and confirmed that there's no additional changes, and they don't go plug in the 75 horsepower pump and say, oh, the electrical now needs to be upgraded. So they've covered that, and all the rest of the work is pretty well complete. So this is really the last piece.
But technically, except for location, it's a brand new well.
Correct, it's 100% brand.
Better be.
Yeah.
Brand new well.
The price tag.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do have one question about that depth. So we're looking at, do you know how much deeper it was? I mean, 15 horsepower is quite a bit, so.
I do not have that in front of me.
So
But I can look and see.
my concern is that we were basing our well depth based off of certain aquifer thickness.
Right.
So we had to drill farther to hit that aquifer. Do we still have the same capacity?
Yes, so the testing is still coming back up on 500 gallons per minute. On the well that failed was 270 to 300 gallons.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And if this pump were to go out, I think we have additional pumps, right, Mike, that it'll be okay? Or do we have a pump on
No,
the
these
shelf?
are not the kind of pumps that you have laying around.
Okay.
No,
I
these
said
are
if we had a
large.
backup.
But you can get a rental.
We had some, we were pinching ourselves last summer. so-
Yeah, when we had
Okay.
4 go down, we had a rental within the day.
Okay,
Make a motion that we accept agenda item number 17, which approves a change order number 2 to update the size of the well motor and pump at water well plant number 2.
motion by Mr. Donaldson, second by Ms. Fox to approve the change order number 2 to upsize the well motor and pump at water plant number 2. This motion is debatable, amendable, it requires majority vote. It's open for discussion. All those in favor of approval of the change order number 2 to upsize the well motor and pump at water plant number 2, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will approve the change order number 2 to upsize the well motor and pump at water plant number 2. Now moving down to item 22 on your agenda. Consideration of possible action on a nomination to represent the cities in the county on the Montgomery County Emergency Communication District, MCECD.
So the county sent over communication that their board of directors, or board of managers, we have 2 seats that represent us, and one of them is coming up, and we have an opportunity to nominate a new person or to nominate to reappoint our current representative, Paul
Bergadamo.
Yes, that's correct, Bergadamo. And we have to get a response back to them by July 18th. Once our nominations are in, then we will receive a ballot for casting for the city's vote afterwards.
Chief, you deal with this group directly?
Which part?
You deal with this group directly?
No.
The Emergency Services Department?
Well,
District?
Service, not this particular one.
The communication district.
Yeah, or communication, excuse
We
me.
talked about that last time. We have sitting on the board last time.
I'm not sure. Who was on it?
The ones that we currently have on it right now is Paul.
Paul Bergadamo,
and
Kathy Ryer.
Kathy Ryer. She's city of Shenandoah.
Yeah. Those were the people in this district that I thought last time.
Paul Bergadamo used to be the city administrator in Conroe for 20-something years. And now he's at a engineering firm, consulting firm. Okay. Thank you.
What if we don't vote at all?
It's your choice.
I have no
Nominate a
opinion.
new person.
I don't have a nominee, so. You have a nominee?
Yeah, Paul.
Paul
I
and
mean,
Kathy.
other than Paul, yeah.
To renew.
Just renew? Yeah.
Yeah, just renew that.
Make a motion to renew Paul. That's the one seat that's open, correct? And what's his last name?
Bergadamo, the existing.
What she
person.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Olson to nominate Paul Bergadamo, who's currently in the seat.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Donaldson. All those in favor of approving Paul Bergadamo as our, to represent the cities in the Montgomery County Emergency Communication District, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will vote for and nominate Paul Bergadamo for the MCECD board. All right, number 23 on your agenda. Consideration of possible action on a resolution of the City of Montgomery, Texas, approving an amendment to the City of Montgomery Policies and Procedure Manual, Section 3, Compensation, reference number 3.02, subject compensatory time as attached as Exhibit A, and further providing an effective date, severability, and finding and determining that the meeting at which this resolution is adopted was open to the public, and the public notice of time, place, and subject matter of this public business to be considered was posted as required by law.
Mayor and Council, this is human resource housekeeping. We currently have our compensatory time for our full-time employees for non-uniform at 40 hours. Our current uniform is at 120 hours, and we're requesting to move the 40 hours to 80 hours for the non-uniform employees to make things a little easier on those employees that are juggling with overtime for events and other items, to be able to not have to stress so much about trying to burn down their 40-hour comp and still be able to meet their deadlines on items.
So what you're saying is we have a whole bunch of hard workers that are working overtime, and we want to, okay. Well, we appreciate that.
Make a motion that we accept agenda item 23 as presented.
Motion by Mr. Donaldson that we accept item number 23 as presented. Second by Ms. Fox. All those in favor of accepting item number 23 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will accept item number 23 as presented. 24 on your agenda. Consideration and possible action on a resolution of the City of Montgomery, Texas, approving an amendment to the City of Montgomery Policies and Procedures Manual, Section 5, attendance, leaves, and absence, reference number 5.04, subject, holidays as attached as Exhibit A, and further providing for effective date, severability, and finding and determining that the meeting at which this resolution is adopted was open to the public, that the public notice of time, place, and subject matter of the public business to be considered was posted as required by law.
Mayor, Council, again, another housekeeping. This was brought up by the leadership and team a few weeks back, and the request was to bring this forward to ask if you would consider increasing the holidays to include New Year's Eve and Juneteenth Day.
So 14 paid holidays?
Yeah.
That's what I count, 14?
These conform to national holidays.
These are, we don't have Columbus Day in there, and I think there's one other one that is not in this list.
So the national holidays, they're paid also?
Good Friday's
We
not a
only
national holiday
recognize
anymore.
these that are on this list, on Exhibit A.
Oh, so they don't get paid for the national holidays? Oh, the two that you said?
So the New Year's Eve day and the Juneteenth day, no, we're open for business.
But you're asking for the full day, right?
That's correct.
For paid.
I make a motion to table this, because I'd like to discuss it further.
There's been a motion by Mr. Olson that we table item number 24,
I'll second.
seconded by Ms. Langley. All those in favor of tabling item number 24 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will table item number 24. Sorry, table, till what date?
Well, we're gonna have to have time to
But to the
convene
next,
on it.
but we have to state a date, so like to the next city council meeting?
Well, we need to have an executive session to be able to visit about it, right?
I'm not sure that this qualifies as an executive session item.
No? So we'd have to have a workshop or deal with it somewhere when we have an opportunity besides being sprung on it in the meeting.
Right, I mean, you might want to talk about it as part of your budget because, you know.
Yeah. So can we bring it into one of our budget meetings, which is on the 8th or 9th? And then our following city council meeting after that, so that would be, I don't know, 20-something,
A budget workshop on July 14th.
14th,
So then it would come back on the 22nd.
22nd. So we'd like to table it till July 22nd?
We can amendment to that motion, that we table it
Yes.
till July 22nd. All those in favor still say aye?
Aye.
All right, the motion carries. Item 25 on your agenda. Consideration of possible action on a resolution of the City of Montgomery, Texas, approving an amendment to the City of Montgomery Policies and Procedures Manual, Section 5, attendance, leaves, absence, reference number 5.05. Subject vacation leave is attached as Exhibit A, and further providing for effective date, severability, and finding and determining that the meeting at which this resolution is adopted was open to the public, that the public notice of time, place, and subject matter of the public business to be considered was posted as required by law.
Mayor, council, so some of this is a request for a change, and a part of this is housekeeping. The housekeeping part of this is we are currently on 26 pay periods, and the way our system is set up for payroll is that we break out our vacation time based off of 26 pay periods, and our policy was written that we accrue we earn 8 hours per month, but in all truthfulness, we earn 3.7 hours per pay period, and it wasn't reflected accordingly. So I'm requesting to reflect the changes on this to be the exact way we would earn it through payroll. So when you have a month where we have 3 pay periods versus a month where we have 2, our accrual would be accurate versus the way this is the way it was written. And then the second request is that we have employees who are maxed out on the accrual based off of their tenure, and they feel, and it's caused a little bit of disgruntlement with some of the staff. They feel that they are losing earned time and not able to take that time because of how busy we are. And they're asking for the cap to be removed. And the leadership spoke about this, and we were bringing this forward to ask for your approval on it, that the cap be removed on employees being able to accrue their vacation time. However, the way this is written, it's written that the maximum accrual payout is going to stay the same. It's just that if an employee leaves employment, they will only get what was the max amount. That's in that last column on Exhibit A, which says max accrual payout. So those numbers are what they're currently capped at. If they're, like right now, if an employee has 192 hours and next pay period they're earning another three hours, they won't get that 3 hours in their bank. But the way this policy would be written is that they can continue to accrue that. But should they leave employment with the city, they would only get paid out at the 192 hours. So the liability on the books would not affect us any differently.
Okay. So I'm gonna throw a wrench in the whole accrual thing. So it's very, very standard. I mean, I get paid on salary. I get paid 26, 27 times a year, depending on the year. I accrue monthly. It doesn't matter. I still have to take it hourly. So it's really not about what you accrue. It's about this is how much that you get. It's this much a month. We got 12 months a year, right? So I don't see the issue why we need to change it. I see the manipulation to bump it up, but I don't see the reason for it.
Well, if you could have someone argue and say, well, I'm entitled to 8 hours per month, but I'm only receiving 3.7 hours per pay period, so I'm not earning enough. So
There's still, their pay periods doesn't change how many months in the year there are. Eight, you get 8 hours for that month, that's how many, you get 12 months a year. How many times you get paid is irrelevant.
I understand what you're saying.
I mean, we'll pay you once a month, but we do it on a 2-week period, that's all that matters, right? We don't go by 80 hours, we go once a month, you get an accrual at the first of the month, right? That's pretty standard practice across HR, so I don't understand why it's a cleanup.
The way it's written, we did change, at some point, the sick time was changed to reflect the way the 26 pay periods accrues in the payroll system, and I was trying to make this reflect the same way.
No, I just see it as a manipulation. So I don't understand why it was an issue before. You get 8 hours a month, you get 12 hours a month. That's how many you get. I can understand the cap, but the rest of it, it's not needed.
So are you making a motion?
Well, not to deny it unless they want to change it to, I mean, only part of it would I agree to.
Is the part about the cap, one that you agree to?
Yeah,
Yeah, because if we, I've got officers losing
absolutely.
a lot of vacation time because they can't take that vacation due to training, due to schedule, due to assignments. I don't care about holidays, or the cops go long, I didn't know there were holidays. But here's the deal, on the cap on that, I would like that extended, because at the point that they get to where they leave, then they only get paid for that amount. But they've got the extension to take their vacation at some point without losing all that time.
No, I totally understand the cap, because we don't want people, they accrued it, they deserve it, right? They put the time in, they get the time. But as far as this other, I don't agree with it. So I don't know how to make that motion. Because I don't want to make the motion to pass the entire.
Do we want to table it like the
Want
other
to table
one
it again?
and discuss it?
Discuss it, budget.
Yeah, we can do that. So let's
Yeah.
let's table it until the July 22nd. Yeah, so I'd make a motion to table it until July 22nd, and I'd like to bring it forward in our budget meeting when we talk about the other one.
So motion by Mr. Olson that we table this till, to vote back, to bring it back on the agenda July 22nd and discuss it in the next budget meeting on July 14th.
Second motion.
Second by Mr. Zulovich. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. It's open for discussion. All those in favor of tabling item number 25 until the next budget meeting to be discussed, July 14th, and to appear on the next city council meeting as July 22nd, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. And we will discuss this on July 14th and back on the agenda July 22nd. Okay, item number 26 is going to be discussed in executive session. So we will move on to the departmental reports next, and then we will discuss item 26 when we come out of executive session. So moving right along to departmental reports, item number 27, May 2025 court report. Ms. Duckett.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For May 2025, the citations were 219, and the revenue was $39,780.87. Do you have any questions for Ms. McCord? Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 28, June 2025 PD and code enforcement and planning and zoning report. Chief. And Ms. Tilley?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. You have reports in front of you. Is there any questions on anything?
Chief, I happen to be part of a conversation right before this meeting. And I will be on this department report, but it's something that's stellar. We had an officer. If you would like to please share, I think that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. When you guys are sleeping, we got young police officers here. We've got one that finished at the top of her class. And last night, she was in your subdivision. Gentleman had a heart attack. His wife called the sheriff deputy next door. He said, "No, I'll call the real police." So, actually, she called us. And she did. He was gone. And she gave him CPR, and she brought him back. By the time EMS got there, he's at the hospital now. He's still in he's in stable condition. He's doing better, but she did a really
Outstanding
great
job, Officer Pagan.
So, while you're sleeping, they're taking care of business.
Thank you. Good news, Chief. All right, Ms. Tilley?
You have my monthly report there in front of me. I didn't know if you had questions specific to any of those line items. But I did want to bring up the issue of conditional use permits. Just so you know, the conditional use permit, or not the conditional use permit, the special use permit that was discussed earlier, isn't the only special use permit that you'll be seeing coming forth. There's a new bank. The bank has drive-through tellers for teller machines. So you will be seeing a special use permit that's going to come forward on that. There is a small retail center that's going to have, I think, a drive-up quick donut shop, maybe a donut shop. That's something. And that is also going to have a drive-through. Then there will also be a discussion regarding a car wash, a standalone car wash, that will also be coming forward on special use permits. Because our table of uses in the zoning ordinance needs quite a pickup. It needs to be cleaned up and updated to current standards, the way that operations are evolving with businesses. We need to clean that up. And that's why you're going to start seeing an influx of special use permits until we can update the table of uses. Because there's a lot of uses that are not listed in that table of uses that are just going to have to be talked about, and we'll have the opportunity to talk about them. It's meant to address noise, light, maybe possibly odors that could be coming through because of the location of some commercial businesses and its relation to residences, whether they're established already or new that's coming up. So that is the reason why we have the special use permits, and the one that we just talked about is not the only special use permit that's coming forward.
Could you submit recommended changes to the, our guidelines?
I'm sorry.
Could you submit to the council recommended changes to clean up the table?
That is going to be a part of chapter 98 that
KKC is doing?
we're going through with KKC. That we'll have to discuss that.
Where are we on those? Because they did a draft. Why are you grunting?
It's not on the agenda.
I know, but I mean,
So it's not.
we were
on
supposed
the
to have these a
agenda.
year ago.
I'm sorry.
We were supposed to have these a year ago because to get ahead of stuff like this. So I guess in inquiry, I'll ask for an update. We're spending a lot of money, you're not getting anything.
But I was just bringing that up as a part of my report, so
Yes.
that you know what is coming up. Some of the notable things that we've been working on, and especially with Rick, are the mobile home permit application processes. I don't know if you're aware, there's a lot of single-family residences, vacant lots, that people are wanting to place mobile homes on those vacant lots, just single vacant lots. We didn't have a formal application process, a checklist, or anything like that. Rick and I worked together, and we put a process and a checklist together. As these mobile homes start coming up, because there's an exception to the mobile home rule, it'll be coming to city council for you to review.
Now, are you differentiating mobile home and manufactured home somehow?
Right, there's the HUD manufactured mobile home, and that is what the city currently allows. Certain age, certain size requirement, all of that, yes. Also, we have added, I'm sure you've heard of it, the temporary construction and construction trailer process, the sales trailer, the construction trailer. Rick and I also worked on that, had a checklist set up for it, and that's in play. And then we also have a demolition permit process, which we didn't have before with an application. But other than that,
Ms. Tilly, on here, you have wayfinding signs, and they've been on here at Lake. Where are we on that?
On the wayfinding signs, I have 2 sign contractors that will be giving us quotes. These are sign contractors. One is from Sourcewell, and another sign contractor off of TML Bybor. And I'm hoping to find one more, and I think is it HGAC? A contractor off of that list, so I'm trying to find one more there. It's difficult because like TML Bybor, all I can go off is a construction construction list, and then I have to call each one of them and ask them if they will fabricate and install. And then I ask for them
And
to.
have we gotten the right of ways from TxDOT yet to install
I
these?
have not heard from TxDOT yet. The county I have heard from, because there'll be signs on the county roadway. They have their paperwork with the attorneys now.
Good. That was quick for them. Okay, good.
What is the dumpsters on there?
I'm sorry.
What are the dumpsters?
Oh, the dumpsters is kind of a part of the downtown redesign. So the dumpsters are where we're going to combine all of the dumpsters downtown,
Oh, yeah,
rather than
okay.
having their own individual lot there. Hopefully we can design it so that it has a good visually
Aesthetics.
appealing, more visually appealing.
Appealing visual dumpster.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, next up, 29, Public Works Monthly Report. Mr. Muckleroy.
Mayor and council, we have the monthly report for May in front of us. Be happy to answer any questions you may have on it.
Nope, I just appreciate you not killing the bees.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, number 30, Utility Operations Monthly Report for May 2025.
Good evening,
Hello.
Mayor and Council. We have a report in front of you. You can see our numbers there. Accountability is back up, so looking good there. We are doing some, a little bit less flushing because we're seeing more water usage. So that's good, so here we go. And as we see more development coming, I think we'll end up doing a whole lot less flushing as water usage increases. Next page is the wastewater treatment plant. You can see how we did there. State compliance with the discharge permit with the state. So looking good.
Fantastic.
And Lone Star permit, we're 40-something% through the year. We're only 20% on our Catahoula and 18% on the Jasper. So
Fantastic.
it's looking good
That's
the
great.
rest of the year.
Good job.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, number 31, Financial Report. Miss Marianne is not here. So if you have a question, I would email her. She'll be back in the country in a couple weeks. So we'll move right along to number 32, Building Official Report for May 2025. Mr. Hanna.
Mayor and council, you have a little report in there. We're maintaining inspections. I think our biggest progress last time, we completed all the inspections for the Career and Technology Center. Waiting to hear back from the fire marshals past there before we issue their full certificate of occupancy. But we'll start working next on the ag barn and hopefully have it finalized next week or two.
Okay.
Questions?
Exciting. I like the new format, the building permit type.
Siobhan taught me how to do that.
It looks
before.
great.
If you like, I can get her to teach me a cumulative report if you want to compare year to date to year back.
This was easy on the eyes. We'll just keep you going here. So this is easy on the eyes. We'll keep you
Yes.
going here. You did a good job.
Well, and I just want to put in one final note. The chief was such an inspiration for me in the past few months. Looking forward to working with the new administrator.
Yes, thank you, sir. All right, and number 33, discussion on engineers' monthly report.
I'll hit the highlights. One day I'll get to, if you have any questions, that the report will be on for that. Water line number 2, so as of May 25th, they were 80% complete by time and value. We did receive a pay estimate, $333,720 over that time period. As I noted during that agenda item, the ground storage tank is complete, the piping is essentially complete. They're down to the well and then final site restoration to that project wrapped up. Be moving on to the next page, a couple of the highlights. We did have a kickoff meeting earlier today with the Baxter and Woodman for the design of water plant number 4, which y'all read at the last meeting, so they're getting started. Both items 7 and 8 are those ARPA fund projects. Both of those are pretty well ready to go. We're still waiting on the environmental review. Because the funding sources, we have to get that clearance before we're allowed to bid. On to page 248 of your packets, at the top of page 3 of our report, you'll see the water line for the old Tannersville project. That has been completed as well. That is a picture of the boring underneath the railroad. We received all the back keys. We have a final walkthrough on June 26th scheduled for mostly site restoration, touch-up paint, things like that. Lift Station 10 improvements, which is the Taylor Morrison funded project. This is the second phase of that. It is currently advertising for bids. We'll receive the bids on July 15th, which likely will bring bids to your 1st of August meeting based on the timing of meetings. As a reminder, that's adding an additional lift pump and emergency generator to that site.
Do you work closely with them? Taylor Morrison?
We, not, right now they're in construction, so our construction guys are interfacing with people in the field, but we haven't talked to Taylor Morrison directly.
Oh, well, yeah, it's been a while. The reason I ask is right outside the city limits, they're acquiring a lot of land. A lot. And curious if they're interested in us annexing.
I have not had that discussion.
Okay. Open for discussion.
The next two items on there are the lift station number 5 project and West Lone Star Parkway. Those are both the Legacy Grove development funded items. Those designs are wrapping up next month. Next page, we've covered a lot of these items between the different development agreements and MOUs, so nothing really to hit. We do have an updated redevelopment meeting map in the back of your packets. Some of those will still carry over. It's about a 45-day one. There's still a lot of activity in the city. Plan reviews, plot reviews are listed on the following 2 pages. On page 6 of our report, ongoing construction update on the Briarly projects. So we held a final inspection of the lift station this morning. There's a couple punch list items. Other than that, it's pretty well started up. The main thing is the generator is not operational. We're waiting on the startup of the manufacturer, which is I believe scheduled for 2 to 3 weeks out. And it would be on a backup fuel tank because natural gas hasn't made its way through the neighborhood. That's the same that we did for the Montgomery bed development. So we allowed them to put a temporary tank out there, start it, run it, time it in service, and as soon as natural gas was in, switch it over. On the actual sections of the development, of 3 sections, one section is pretty well done. As the third, one of them, they're still waiting on Mid-South to remove a pole. So if you've gone out on Marysville, there's a pole right in the middle of the roads. Mid-South has to reload or remove. They've already put the new poles on each side, and then some other kind of minor paving items. So I would expect once the lift station is done, those items will come back for acceptance to y'all. Page 7, you'll see a couple pictures of the Lone Star Hills development, which used to be Lone Star Ridge. This is the Taylor Morrison development. They're changing the name constantly. But you can see kind of the aerial of what's going on there with the retaining walls. Same with the Legacy Grove. I've started their clearing portion of their project. So you'll see a picture of that. We had a 1-year warranty inspection this morning for the first phase of lift station 10 improvements. There was no punch list items. That was just the force main upsizing portion along Buffalo Springs and Lone Star Parkway. Other items are more carryover. No real updates to any of those. And the last item note on the last page of our report is the impact fee update. So we did discuss impact fee updates with planning and zoning, acting as the capital impact advisory committee on June 11th. They are recommending an update to those, so we'll bring those at your July 8th meeting for discussion at that time.
Chris, I heard from Commissioner Walker about the light at Lone Star Bend and Lone Star Parkway. And he said that he'll know by this Friday when they can mobilize the signal installation. He said that, however, there's it'd be 2 to 3 months for completion. On here, it says that they're still asking us for financial participation. He didn't mention anything. Are we just not participating in the temporary light, and then when it gets to be permanent, they want cost share?
At the time, they've gone kind of silent on this. So I'm glad you're able to get an update. So when this started, it was pre-road bond passing. Mm-hmm. So the intent was sharing the cost of the temporary. County would pay for the full permanent signal because with the road bond funds, which would include also Lone Star Parkway improvements and a permanent true mast on signal. So at the time, they were requesting a cost share of this temporary signal because they're trying to get it done quickly. And whose court it was left in, to my understanding, was the county attorney's office was going to prepare an interlocal agreement and send it over to the city for review. That never occurred. But if he's proceeding with it, without
That's what it's, yeah. And Ryan estimates 2 to 3 months before full completion and active traffic signal. So looks like maybe this fall.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
Sir.
I have a question about the 1-year warranty inspection for Town Creek Crossing.
Yes, sir.
I see that they're still non-compliant,
Right.
non-responsive.
Right.
And how many years has this been going on?
2?
Oh, it's been a couple of years. So we have engaged the city attorney. The official correspondence has been sent.
Okay. So have we had the history like this before, where they're non-responsive to warranties and?
I've never
Not to
seen
this extent. I mean, most of the time, there's a lot of back and forth, or there's future sections that there's something else to kind of hold up. You know, most of the time, I mean, we've had warranty periods get drug out with, Hilton Town Creek payment issues and things like that. But ultimately, it was always constant conversation and kind of working through the process though slowly. So, kind of one that has gone this radio silent and non-responsive.
So what's our recourse? Not to take them in and then let them repair it on their own? And we could be financially responsible for repairs and upkeep?
Well, have we accepted the project?
So it was accepted into the 1-year warranty period. Right, and we never officially ended the warranty period because during the warranty inspection, there were issues identified and they were never addressed.
So, we have to proceed against the bonding company and see if they'll step up to the plate next step.
And so we had reached out to the bonding company. We were also getting some non-responsive, but we'll regroup with Alan and come back with more.
Wait, the bonding company is not responding to you?
I can't remember the last time that this has been going on for so long. I know we reached out to the bonding company. They requested additional information. It was provided. And then I believe they also went non-responsive. We got involved with the city's attorney. They stepped in. We were getting some progress, but then again, they kind of fell off. So we'll regroup with Alan, and I'll get you a more clear answer on what the steps forward on this are.
So if any other developments come forward with this developer, can we deny based on, and say, hey, we're not doing anything until you hold
no
up
permits.
your first warranty? Huh?
Finish your first project first.
I have cities to do that.
Okay, I just want to make sure that's something that we can do, like, hey, you haven't finished the last one.
And who are you, what developer, who is?
Lefko.
Lefko, okay. I wasn't sure, I just wanted to.
Odd, isn't it?
All right. Hey, Chris, there's one back on 612 Worsham Development Plat.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't even remember that.
So development plats are done at staff level. What a development plat is when they're not subdividing the property, they're making improvements. So what she was planning to do with the property is, I believe, if I remember right, was to add a barndominium or a house on the property, but it was still remaining the 7 acres that it was.
8 acres, 7 acres, yeah.
Right. So those do not come in front of P&Z or council. Kind of like a minor plat. If it's not, minor plats are over 4 acres. Development plats are just not recorded because she's not single-family development. It just resets building lines, easements, etc.
But it's not being commercial.
It is not. It is not. No, the development plat was for a single-family use.
That was going to be a horse farm.
Chris, for the development at Briarly, have we banned dual axle trucks on Old Plantersville from this side and they can only go from the high school side?
There was during construction, there was a lot of discussion regarding the pushing of construction traffic, not outside of City Hall,
Sure.
but going the other direction. As far as an outright ban, that is not a city street. And so, Old Plantersville in front of this is a county road, so I don't think that we were able to full ban, but it was definitely, there was communication with the developer at the time, and continual communication about trying to keep traffic, which is also, not trying to keep away from answering your question, but the timing of the improvements to Old Plantersville Road, being that, and we don't want to go and redo Old Plantersville Road with a bunch of construction traffic, so let's time this out with the phases of the development.
I'm hearing from residents regarding tearing up this road and the vehicles. And they felt that they made a complaint and they didn't come through here for a couple of weeks, and now they're back to doing so.
Yeah, we'll regroup the developer and see what they can pass along to their homeowners to encourage traffic.
Thank you.
Is there any way you can actually ban them from 105 here to Collier Cemetery?
No, to Collier Cemetery.
I've had the same questions also from people complaining about the traffic.
Yeah, we can request that ultimately they're public streets and we're a little bit stuck on preventing, but definitely I think Johnson's just wanting to be a good partner with the city and try to encourage traffic.
So far, I've had 3 people complain about the whole area there.
So maybe just a reminder to use that side instead of this side would be ideal.
Will do.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. And although it's not on the agenda of the department report, I'd like to welcome our new city administrator, Brent Walker, here. Thank you. Glad you're here. I was putting you in a department report since, well, you're running the departments. So we're glad you're here. Do you have any words of wisdom or backflips because you're here?
No special skills, I guess. I didn't plan a speech.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. We're excited you're here. Thank you. All right.
I make a motion to approve the departmental reports.
Motion by Ms. Langley, second by Mr. Olson. We approve the departmental reports as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries, and we will accept the departmental reports as presented. All right. Next item on your agenda is council inquiry. July 5th is Freedom Fest. Don't forget the parade.
Or what were you going to do?
I'm going to ask about the KBB.
For the KKC? Yeah, so KKC, they are in the draft. We haven't heard from them in quite some time. And we are a long way away from the milestones that were promised, a long way away from progress that we were promised for the lots of dollars we spent. So have you heard from them? Have we just been deserted? Where are we?
Their last communication was they were going to talk to us in November of this year.
Well, they were also sent us a draft for review for updating the policies and procedures, or updating our zoning and all of our ordinances, and we haven't seen that. In our last one, we had requested an update.
Section 78, there was 2 of them.
Go ahead.
Chapter 98 or
98,
section
yeah,
98,
95.
They have done their review, and
Okay.
it went back to engineers, and it's in our hands now
Okay.
to do a review as a couple weeks ago when I spoke to them.
Okay.
You
Go
guys
ahead,
spoke
come
to
on.
them? I have not actually talked to anyone at KKC, so I don't know when the next meeting is or anything like that.
Christina?
I know, just to Ruby's point, they had sent a draft. So we'll follow up. We're regrouping later this week, and we'll make that the priority to see where they are and who's on first and we can move forward.
All right. Yeah. Thought we were supposed to be doing that for all this new development.
Oh, they're good.
We're behind. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. With that, we will head to executive session. Number 34 on your agenda, closed session. City Council will meet in closed session pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code in accordance with the authority contained in 1. Section 551.072, deliberations about real property regarding 213 Prairie Street and a potential lease agreement. 2. Section 551.087, deliberation regarding economic development negotiations regarding HEB development agreement. It is 7:41 and we will head into executive session. All right, we are back into open session. It is 8:26 PM. And we'll take action on the matters discussed in closed session.
All right, I'd like to make a motion
So
on
on item 1.
26. Item,
Yeah, item 1 under 26.
oh, I'm sorry, we were just bringing 26 back, so it's on the agenda as item 26. So make a motion to approve the HEB development agreement.
Motion by Mr. Olson to approve the HEB development agreement. Seconded by Ms. Fox. This motion is debatable, amendable, it requires majority vote. It's open for discussion. All those in favor of approving the HEB development agreement, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will approve the HEB development agreement. Welcome to Montgomery.
So,
All right, huh? Yeah, we are too. Yay.
We're for it.
Now do we get fireworks? Yeah, sparklers.
concerning item number 1 from executive session, I make a motion to take no action.
Motion by Mr. Olson, take no action on item number 1 from executive session, and seconded by Ms. Fox. All those in favor of taking no action, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. We'll take no action on item number 1. Closing agenda, 36. Items to consider for placement on future agendas. Ms. Bevan, the MISD is requesting, I thought it was going to be on this agenda, requesting for change of zoning for potential property that they're purchasing off of 1097. They had requested to be an executive session or on the agenda. I don't know where I wrote you in an email, but they want to know if we would change zoning to institutional, and currently it's commercial. At the end of Summit Business Park, there's 63 acres there, and they're looking at doing it in I don't know if I can say all that. Anyway, they'd like to be considered.
Yeah.
So our next agenda, please. Anybody else?
Just those items for July 20th,
Yeah, the items for July 22nd.
after the budget.
Yeah, after the budget, yeah, sure. Okay. All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Zulich, second by Ms. Fox. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. It's 8:29, we will adjourn.
Good evening. Well, that was a huge agenda, and we actually made through it very quickly with an executive session.